Hey friends, welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast with your host, Nicole
and Hannah. Come join us for some hopeful conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing.
Hey Hallmarkies, we're back for another episode. I'm missing my wonderful co-host, Hannah, but I'm joined by my sweet friends, Kerri and Kristen, to chat about Hallmark Channel's Haul Out the Holly, starring Wes Brown as Jared, Lacey Chabert as Emily, Stephen Tobolowsky as Ned, Melissa Peterman as Pamela, Ellen Travolta as Mary Louise, Peter Jacobson as Albert, Eliza Hayes Mayer as Jessica, Walter Platz as Bob, Laura Wardle as Belinda, Jake Stormoen as Dan, Lila Clark as Nicole, Charlotte Witt as Helen, Manning Hazen as young Jared, Abby Villasmell as young Emily, Eric Navius as Alan, and Christopher Palaha as Kevin. It was directed by McLean Nelson and written by Andy Sandberg. When Emily unexpectedly spends the holidays alone at her parents' house, their HOA insists that she participate in its many Christmas festivities. My first question for y'all is, what did you love most about this movie?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I think that there was a lot more humor in this movie than, maybe most Hallmark movies, which I really loved, of course. Melissa Peterman, I know her from Reba. Being Barbara Jean. So definitely having her as one of the cast members was just amazing. I loved all of her scenes. And then, of course, the cameos that Hallmark is starting to do in movies now. And I know we'll get into it, but those two cameos were amazing.
Yes. This was a phenomenal ensemble cast for this movie.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. I would just have to agree with Kristen. I loved Nicole. I know I was telling you this before we started recording, that I sent my dad a picture. I was like, look who's a couple in this movie. Because he loves SSD and Reba. I knew he was going to get a kick out of that little cameo there. But I loved, and Lacey actually said this like in one of her little snippets in between commercials and stuff, that this was her first rom-com with Hallmark. So I love that was actually stated, that this wasn't just a regular Christmas movie or regular romantic movie. It was a rom-com, that they specifically stated that. I did love the comedy in this. I loved how Wes Brown was such a child in this. It was so adorable.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you, Kerri, before we started recording, that when the movie had aired on the Postables Facebook group, somebody posted a screenshot of the scene, where Alan and Pamela reunite. And I think somebody commented, "It's Oliver and Barbara Jean."
Yes.
What a matchup. Never saw that in a million years.
I know. I will readily admit, I mean, I loved it, don't take me wrong.
Yeah.
But I will readily admit that kiss made me laugh out loud. Because poor Melissa, like, she is so tall.
Yeah.
Like, Eric's kind of average height, but she is so tall that they looked like this little mismatched couple. And it was adorable, but it made me.
I loved it. Yeah. It was cute.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They made a great couple, even though we only got to see a few minutes of them together.
Yeah. I would have liked to saw more, just kind of see their dynamics together,
Okay, I think we need to make this a thing. I think there needs to be a sequel, and we need to see it be mostly Jared and Emily, and then a lot more of Alan and Pamela.
Okay.
Yeah, like exploring the lives of the different people in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
More backstory for all. Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah. And I mean, we're all asking for more movies with Eric, so
totally. Yeah.
We need more, because besides SSD, which of course we all love, He's only done a few Hallmark movies outside of that. So I think we need more.
Yeah.
I agree.
And of course, more of Melissa too, because she's great.
Yeah, she's so funny.
I was excited to see her in a Hallmark movie.
Me
Yeah.
too. Mm-hmm.
How about that first video call with Emily and her parents?
Oh,
When her mom said, "You can relax with us. Your father will be so happy." And then Emily says, "He's not too busy remodeling Santa's workshop again." "No, not this year." "Okay, that was your nervous laugh. What are you hiding?" "What are you talking about?" "Mom, you did it again. Last time you laughed like that, I found out you got rid of all my Beanie Babies."
Yeah.
My word.
Did y'all have Beanie Babies when you were a kid? I had some.
Yeah, I did.
I guess I had a couple, but it wasn't like something I collected or anything.
We had a lot, me and my brother did, because we were told that someday they would be worth a fortune. So we were like, okay, we'll stock up. But of course, here we are 25 years later. And
Yeah. One time, I don't remember how old I was. I was like way younger, maybe around 10, maybe a little younger, a little older. I think I was a little younger. One of them, I think it was a bird, maybe a blue jay or something. And one of my friends had come over for a play date or whatever. And for some reason, I put the Beanie Baby on top of a lamp, like the light bulb in a lamp. And the lamp was on, and I forgot that I had left it on. I almost burned the house down.
Oh no!
Literally,
Oh my gosh, that would
like
have
there
been
was
so
a like hard ball under the Beanie Baby from where it was burned.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Did you smell it or anything? How did you like remember it was
I
in
think we smelled it. I can't even remember.
I bet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that could have been bad.
That is hilarious. The only time I can think of that I've ever come close to starting a house fire was actually last Christmas. And my mom was not doing good, so I ended up like doing all the cooking and everything. I think I had cooked maybe like the day before or something, and was like, I had fixed a pot of chicken and dumplings and was just like reheating them once everybody was there. And somehow or another, I still don't know how I managed this stuff like just boiled over and like just flamed up for a minute. I think I was making the stuffing at that point because it had to have had butter in it for the so it would have been like the water and the butter boiling for the stuffing. And it like just boiled over for a second and just and then it was out just as quick as it started. But I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, it was just enough to set the fire alarm or the smoke alarm off. But I'm just like,
yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
give everybody a good laugh for Christmas. Make sure everybody's awake.
There you go. Good memories.
Yeah. Also, I have to mention, it was kind of funny hearing Emily talking about her now ex-boyfriend, Dan, and then Emily's dad talking through the walkie-talkie after
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Emily and her mom hung up.
Yeah.
Like, this is the code red.
Red and green. Code red and green.
Yeah. They mean business with this one.
Yes. I love it. He's like, grab the tree. I've got this. And she's like, okay, grab the tree. Like, what did you think? What in your mind was about to happen at this point?
I had no idea. Yeah.
I didn't either. I was just like, what in the world? Like, I knew they were gonna, I knew from the start of the movie that they were gonna kind of trap her into
doing all
being a part of this somehow.
Yeah.
But I was trying to figure out the fact that the entire neighborhood was in on it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a neighborhood effort. This is a neighborhood of Scrooging. I don't know. Like they're working on Emily to,
Yeah.
I don't have the line written down, but I have to mention when Emily is first getting there and she is driving through the neighborhood and Pamela is trying to help put the sign up and Ned is like standing, just a few feet away and
directing traffic.
Yeah. And I think he sees some kind of flower or something and he's like, petunias or something.
Yeah.
I think she was saying like to be careful of a particular type of flower, and he was like perennials. They're so
Perennial.
They're so like finicky or whatever, but they're so beautiful. She just looks at him like, "Are you for real right now?"
Yeah. It was perennials. Thank you.
Yes.
Jared and Emily seeing each other again. That was hilarious. Like he didn't recognize her at first.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love how he like pulls out the tape measure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
The line that I thought was funny is when he walks in the house and he's talking about how her dad has been a mentor for him for his first year in office as the HOA president. And he says, "I promise I'm not going to let it go to my head."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, question here.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who did not think her parents were actually going to move to Florida?
I didn't. Yeah.
I didn't.
I thought it was all like a fabricated
setup.
story. Even him being HOA president, I thought was just kind of part of the ploy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I did not think they were actually going to move. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Why? I mean, they love this place so much and they've been doing it for years. You know, like, why are they actually moving to Florida? Like, that one kind of caught me off guard. I thought it was all just a setup to get her to like come back home and like enjoy the neighborhood again and get back into Christmas.
Yeah. When I first read the synopsis, it came across to me as they were just going to go out of town for Christmas and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked that though. I liked that element of surprise.
Mm-hmm.
The polo shirts they were wearing.
Oh, they're like tropical. Yeah, that was cute.
I love how her mom is like, you
They
said
won't
you
know.
wanted to make cookies. And she was like, I said I wanted to eat cookies. A lot of them. And she was like, well, then pay extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt really sorry for Emily. It kind of seemed like her parents didn't really care about her breakup.
Yeah.
They just kind of pushed it to the side and was like, well, we're going to Florida, you know, good luck.
It almost seemed like even he was in on the ploy of, you know, he's become really close to her parents. The entire neighborhood is trying to set them up.
Yes, bunch of busy.
And it almost seemed like even he was in on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost seemed like her parents were almost like, oh, good, that, you know, Dan's gone. Now we'll get her home. And, you know, she's got to work with Jared on this if he's in charge of this. And like, it seemed like a master plan.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I also have to mention him saying that he has a Santa sense about Jessica and her daughter.
Yes.
Oh, just looking out there and seeing.
Like he was literally describing what Jessica was wearing.
Yeah.
And then as he's leaving, he gives her the violation notice. And it says, please decorate to code ASAP. And, you know, Emily is inside the house with Jessica, you know, she's standing right next to her. And Emily says, insufficient Christmas decor.
So official.
Okay, but can we just talk about him standing outside her door singing the 12 Days of Christmas?
Yes.
We're on the first day.
Okay, but what's adorable about that is it's the My True Love Gave to Me song.
Right.
And he's standing outside her door singing it.
Yes.
Yes. And then the part when Emily opens the door and he just kind of like falls.
Uh-huh.
The tree lighting. That was a nice scene.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of us hearing about the matchmaking because Emily and Jessica's daughter Nicole walk up and they see Belinda, Bob, and Mary Louise, and they're talking about Jared being an architect, and I think Bob says, and handsome too.
Yeah.
And Belinda says, stop, you two. The last thing Emily needs is a couple of matchmakers. Bob, I thought she just got dumped by that loser boyfriend of hers. First of all, I dumped him, Bob. And second of all, how did you hear that?
Yeah, word travels fast because that literally just happened.
Yeah. And of course, it was from Emily's mom.
Of course.
Yeah. I love how she's like, well, that adds up.
Also, the banter between Ned and Pamela.
So good.
When Pamela says, "You've been free since the 80s."
Yes. Okay, now question. Did I misunderstand something? Or when, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but you're talking Ned and Pamela. Did I misunderstand something? Or when Pamela and Emily went to Jared's house to get the stuff for the snowman and they're standing there with the coal and stuff and he's acting all goofy. Did she or did she not, she being Pamela, say something along the lines of, and they wonder why we're single?
Yes, she said that.
Yeah.
Okay, was I the only one who assumed the entire movie up until a particular conversation assumed that Pamela was single and was expecting her and Ned to end up getting together?
Oh,
That's a good thought. I didn't
think
even
that,
think
but
about
that's
that,
a good
no.
thought. Yeah, I can see how you thought that.
The kind of not animosity, but I don't know. They just kind of egg each other on. I don't know. But I mean, you never heard anything about her still being married. And then she even made that comment about us being single. So I just kind of assumed she's a single mom.
I could see where you thought that. But I actually didn't watch the movie live, but I saw tweets. So it kind of like, I knew ahead of time that she was married.
Right.
Yeah.
But I could see where you would think that.
Again, I love the elements of surprise in this movie where it took a turn that you didn't expect it to.
Yeah.
But that it still made sense. It didn't seem unrealistic, but it still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ned making the ice sculpture while singing his own version of Deck the Halls. I didn't even attempt to write down his lyrics, but that was so fun.
Oh my gosh. I loved Ned.
Yeah, he was so funny. I feel like they just like told him, like, just make up something, just go along with it. Actor was like, okay.
There might have been one line in the song where he said something like, now on to the head and shoulders.
Yes. Or something like that. Yes. And I loved the ice sculpture thing because we don't really see a lot of that, but I love the movie Ice Sculpture Christmas.
I do too.
With Rachel Boston. So the coming back to that and remembering her like teaching him how to sculpt the ice and whatever, and then watching Ned create this ice sculpture. I loved it because it's that movie.
That was so funny at the beginning when Emily first gets there, and I think she's outside her house or her parents' house, and Ned is like off in the distance a little bit, I guess starting the ice sculpture. And he asks if she wants to help. And she's like, no, I'm good. And he's like, party pooper.
Yes. Ned is definitely the eccentric one in the cul-de-sac. And I love it.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about Emily pretending to call an intruder when she sees Jared outside her house, and she's like, hi, 911. Yes, I'd like to report a very strange man wandering around my property. And Jared just kind of like looks around and he says, oh, I'm not strange, and you're not on the phone with 911.
He's like, no, but I will be if you don't tell me what you're doing here.
Yeah. It's like, what was he doing?
She grew up with this person. She's still about to call 911 on him if he doesn't leave her alone.
The HOA meeting when Emily says, actually, I don't have to do any of this. And Jared's just like,
yeah, you could hear a gasp through the whole room. Was it Ned that was like, is it just me or did it just get really hot in here?
Yeah. Okay, I have to mention the funniest line in this scene, or the funniest exchange in this scene, when Mary Louise says, I feel like I finally know what the FOMO feels like.
Oh my God.
Reactions, specifically Ned, he's just like, and then Mary Louise continues by saying, you guys are going to have a blast. And Pamela says, you know what? Can you define FOMO?
Yeah.
Mary Louise, fear of making out. Pamela, sorry about that, ball.
I was not expecting that at all.
It wasn't even.
Did I just hear that right?
I mean, can you imagine sitting in that room when that happens and you're like just trying not to bust out laughing?
I know.
And make the person feel bad.
I would probably be the one to bust out laughing.
Oh, I totally would have. Oh my gosh.
You put the three of us, or like add Morgan to the mix, or that. I'm not sure we can be trusted in a room together.
I was like, no, Mary Louise, you got it all wrong. It's fear of missing out.
I think making out is something altogether different.
Oh my goodness. Another funny part in that scene was when she talked about getting, was it a snowball to the ear?
I think so.
And
yeah.
He says something to her.
He says, "You said you forgave me for that."
Yes. And she's like, that might have been the bad ear. And so he says it again.
Yeah.
That was so good.
I loved the shout out with Emily watching the Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Christmas in Vienna.
Yes.
Which stars one of Lacey's friends and co-stars Brennan Elliott.
Yes. I love that moment.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Did you catch what she said before that?
Yes. The first line she says is, please let it be the one where she finds out her boyfriend's actually a prince.
I loved that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, what if it really is her movie? Like, that would have been so great.
Yeah.
But I like what they did. I like that it was Christmas in Vienna. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then after she hangs up with her parents, she says, oh, it's the one in Vienna. I love this guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that they did that.
Yeah.
A cameo without it actually being a cameo.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
We definitely need some Hallmark all-star movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they're edging their way towards that, but we 110% need it.
Yeah. I feel like they're listening to our wishes of wanting an all-star cast.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they've already kind of started with the Wedding Veil trilogy, you know.
Yes.
So they could just keep doing more of that. That would be great.
Yeah. Even if the specific person isn't a big part in the movie, like even if it's just a small role.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I also love when she's talking to her parents and she says, I feel like I'm in Home Alone 4, stuck in the suburbs.
Is that what the fourth movie is called? I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either. Is there a fourth one?
I think
I didn't
so. I feel like there was one recent. I'll look it up real quick.
I know there were 3, but I
know
don't
there
know
were 3.
Yeah, there is one. It's a Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. It came out in 2002.
That's right. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? There's so many of them.
When she said stuck in the suburbs, it actually reminded me of one of my favorite Disney Channel movies, Stuck in the Suburbs. With Danielle Panabaker, I believe.
Yes.
And Brenda Song.
Brenda Song, yep. Yeah.
Classic Disney Channel movie.
So cute. Love that one.
I think I still have the soundtrack somewhere in my music collection.
Fun.
I would literally jam out to those songs.
Yeah.
When I was younger. I mean, sometimes I still do.
No shame.
Guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure.
Hashtag no shame.
There you go. I used to love the Cheetah Girls. That was my favorite.
I liked that one too.
I had that soundtrack.
Yeah. Jared's visit about the Nutcracker code and violation. And he says, it is illegal to rip up a citation. Also, your Nutcracker needs to be 36 inches from shoe to chapeau. Oh, from shoe to chapeau. Is that in the handbook too?
So many rules, so many codes, so many citations.
Yeah.
I would have gone nuts by now.
I will say I'm spoiled to not living in a neighborhood. Like, I don't think I could stand dealing with an HOA. Like, honestly, this one was fine. But
yeah, we have to deal with HOA.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because we're in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Emily helping Bob and Mary Louise with their lawn display.
Oh my goodness. They were enjoying that way too much.
Yeah. And then falling in the snow. That would be me.
Yes, totally.
I loved Bob.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's been in several Hallmark movies, actually.
Yes, he has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pamela coming over to ask Emily about planning the snowman parade. And There were a few lines that I didn't write down right when she comes over, and then Emily says, right, how about later that night? No, I never plan anything after the cookie contest. Oh, okay, why not? If I lose, I'll be in no condition to do anything. Good for you for being honest. I've never lost. And then Emily starts to say, if you win. And then Pamela says, if I win.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, well, why don't we meet up after the contest? And if you're in a happy place, then we'll be able. How's that?
Yeah, she had to choose her words wisely with that.
Yeah. Yes.
Very.
When she's leaving, she says, your nutcracker is too short. Emily says, I'm aware.
Uh-huh.
How cute was that, though? Like bringing that little tiny nutcracker out, putting it on the porch. Here, I have my nutcracker.
The Christmas cookie contest, and Emily is saying, I'm out of my league. Jessica, how could you know it was going to be the Great British Bake Off? And then them tasting the cookies.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, embarrassing story on myself. I don't think I've ever used salt instead of sugar, but I would have probably been somewhere around 10 years old that I did somehow or another manage to forget to put the sugar in the sugar cookies.
Oh.
I didn't use anything instead of sugar. I just somehow or another forgot to put sugar in them.
Ew.
Oh.
I don't think I actually even ended up I don't remember if I had ended up baking them before I remembered it or not. Like,
Oh,
I do remember going to my room and crying, and the rest of my family thought it was hilarious. But yeah,
you screwed up the cookies.
I
You
know.
had one job: sugar in the sugar cookies.
I mean, it's kind of it should be pretty obvious, there's sugar cookies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't
Thankfully
think
that was one and done. I have never done that again. So
yeah, that's a pretty big one. I don't think I've had anything that major, but I know that there's been times where I've either added too much flour or not enough flour, or too much butter or something like that. And so they're either like solid like a brick, or they're like flat like a pancake.
Okay, yeah, that was me a couple years ago. I tried to make sugar cookies with homemade dough. I think I was using the cookie decorating book from Emily Hutchinson.
Uh-oh.
The cookies were a complete fail.
Oh no.
Like, they did not turn out. So we just ended up going to the store and getting
yeah. That's the way to do it.
The one cookie that I cannot make from scratch and them turn out good, and I have no idea why, is chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, the most basic one.
I know. They always end up like just melting all over the place and paper thin. No, I have changed recipes. I have put I don't know what in the world. I can use a mix and they turn out great. From scratch, I cannot make decent chocolate chip cookies. I have no clue why. No idea why. And this year I'm determined to figure out how to make sugar cookies that actually hold their shape.
Oh, yeah.
When you bake them. Because mine, I can cut them out and bake them, and you can't even tell what they're supposed to be.
Yes, I hate that.
That was my problem too with the pre-made dough. I tried to use the cookie cutters.
Yep.
That are Christmas.
I'm gathering from my Google search that you pretty much need to use frozen dough. Like it.
Yes. Yeah.
Very much chilled anyway. Like for it to hold its shape.
Yeah. I would love to learn how to make sugar cookies with homemade dough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in this instance, she used salt instead of sugar. And I feel like, wouldn't you know? I mean, obviously, like, they're the same color, the same texture, but like you can smell if you have a measuring cup full of sugar, like it's going to smell like sugar. And a measuring cup full of salt, it's not going to smell like sugar.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but in reality, who does not eat the dough while you're making cookies?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with chocolate chip cookies. I will say those are the worst about like eating the batter more than you eat the cookies.
Exactly. Growing up in high school, when one of my best friends would come over, we would literally just make brownie mix in a bowl and we would have a spoon and we would just eat the brownie mix.
Oh my goodness.
We're like, you're going to get sick. Like, that's a raw egg in there. And we're like, it just tastes so much better than the actual brownie.
The thing about it is, like, I know they say you're going to get sick from that. First of all, I've been doing it my whole life and I never have. Okay. I'm just saying. But also, I mean, you see it like in movies all the time when somebody has a hangover and somebody mixes them something to
yes, it's the raw eggs.
It's always like juice, a raw egg, Tabasco sauce, whatever. So it's like,
yeah. I think in the movie Rocky, he like obviously like he works out a lot. And I think he like every morning before he goes for his run or something, he just cracks like a dozen raw eggs and gulps them down. Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah. Talking to Ned about his allergies and the secret ingredient in the cookies.
Oh my God.
Fight.
Now that is a new and unique way to try to stop someone from eating.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yes. How about Pamela's reaction to winning the cookie?
Oh my gosh, she's so intimidating. She cracks me up.
That was priceless.
Yeah.
I wonder what Melissa is like in real life because that's kind of Barbara Jean too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Melissa in real life is probably, it would be hilarious if she is this shy, quiet person because she is such a
lively
imposing figure. She's in the room.
I love how she grabs on to Jessica's sweater when she
Jessica's like, whoa.
She's like, okay,
get your hands off of me, woman. Like,
I need my face. When Jared walks up and they're talking and then he's about to leave and he talks through the walkie-talkie and he says, Operation Deck the Halls. And Emily is like, what is happening? And then it cuts to Jared and everyone in the neighborhood helping with decorating.
Yeah, I did like that. I like
that was a great scene.
Yeah. And then at the end, they all sneak back and leave.
Yeah.
Yes. Leave Jared there.
Yes, that was smooth.
This whole cul-de-sac, this whole neighborhood was in on the plot.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then, of course, she remembers the fact that she was supposed to... Okay, hang on. Let me back up. Before what I was about to say, can we just talk about Jared's Darth Vader impression?
Oh,
yeah. With the Nutcracker and Santa?
That was so funny. She walks in on him. He's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he was such a child in this. It was adorable.
Yes, that was so cute.
Oh my goodness. I did love the moment with them having hot cocoa by the fire and they're talking about her parents and the Polaroids that they took together and, whether they can find the one from Christmas that we saw at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Also how her parents always talk about him and then, their likes and dislikes, including Nickelback. And that was a funny line.
I have so many questions about all of this. First off, her favorite food is frozen peanut butter and jelly. What?
I've never heard
How
of that.
do you eat a frozen peanut butter and jelly sandwich? That is so crazy. And then the second thing was that she was okay with basements, but she hates attics.
No, she hates basements, but she's okay with attics.
Oh, okay. So it was reversed. And she was like, she said something like, she's like, I have a good reason. What? What are your reasons? Were you like trapped or something? Like
that would probably be my reason. Claustrophobia.
I was like, what is going on?
And she's not a blue belt. in
She's
kickboxing.
purple.
She is a purple belt.
Yes.
Get your facts straight.
Get your
Jared.
facts straight. Exactly.
In a loving way.
In a loving way.
Yeah.
I love it.
This love for Nickelback. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Did you notice, kind of jumping ahead just a little bit, in her room, when she's in her room, she has Nickelback posters all around her room?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I love how they did that, like, continuity there.
Yeah.
How adorable was it when okay, first of all, smooth move. And again, this is what made me, there were little things that made me feel like Jared was in on the plot to get them together the whole time. But just how, the entire neighborhood leaves them alone. He comes in for hot chocolate. He's sitting in a chair. She's sitting by the fire, comments how cold she is, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, and he gets up and comes over and sits next to her.
That was so cute.
That was smooth.
That was so cute.
For sure.
The man's got game. I will give him that. The man's got game.
Yeah. He doesn't need a town to help him. He can do this. I got faith in him.
In that scene, Emily realizes that she missed the meeting with Pamela, so she shows up late.
Oh.
And Pamela, of course, she's not happy.
No.
Is this the lady that made you fill up the swear jar?
I was getting to that.
SSD.
Yes.
Cameo right there.
I was getting to that. That immediately made me think of the swear jar on set.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like the swearing, but I do like how they give all the money that goes into the swear jar to a charity.
Yeah.
Or a good cause.
Yeah.
See, I'm not sure I have actually. My dad watches a lot of stuff, like he watches that show on repeat a lot of times. I'm not sure I have seen every single one of them all the way through, because I'm usually busy doing something and he'll watch them without me. So I'm not sure I have seen every single bit. So I honestly did not know that the swear jar was a real thing, like in the set. I thought that, or like in the
movie,
in the series. So is what you just said something that is said in the series, or is that something that is like behind the scenes?
It's behind the scenes.
I think it's just it's behind the scenes.
Okay.
It's not really mentioned. It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
And there are shots where we can see it.
Okay, I gotcha.
Oh, Emily and Pamela talking to Ned about taking donations for the snowman tableau. And Ned says, I've got 12 hazmat suits. You could make a post-apocalyptic gang of snow people.
You know what came to my mind when I heard that, right?
No.
Medieval Christmas.
Oh.
Kristen, have you seen 3 Wise Men and a Baby?
Yes. Okay, I get it now. I was like, what is that from? Yes, I get it. Yeah.
That's what came to my mind when I heard that.
How funny.
And then Ned walks away and Emily and Pamela are still standing there talking about how the ice sculpture is dangerous because of kids.
Oh, licking them. Christmas Story style.
Yes, that's what I was to say. That's a Christmas Story. So we have a Hallmark movie cameo. We have a Home Alone cameo. We have a Christmas Story cameo. And then later on, she uses a line, and I do not know what movie it is from, but it's a Julia Roberts line.
It's Notting Hill.
Just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him. And that is a Julia Roberts line from one of her movies.
I have it written down.
It is so cool.
Yeah.
That movie is called Notting Hill.
I've never seen that.
Okay.
I've
never seen any of her
Hugh
movies.
Grant. It's from the 90s. It's very old.
No, honey, that is new. I'll watch the old stuff.
That's true. I forgot who I'm saying old around.
Yeah. And there are actually a couple of references to that, because at the Christmas party, I think it's Jared starts doing the line from It's a Wonderful Life You want the moon? Just throw the same word. I'll throw a lasso around it and put it down. I guess they're supposed to be guessing who he is.
Yeah.
She's like, he cried. And he's like, are you kidding me?
No, I think that was
It was Chris Palaha.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to be Jimmy Stewart.
I will say, I have a friend that actually I have a couple of friends that can do a really good Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, good. That's so awesome.
It's really fun, especially when like one of them I was around and he just starts talking to me in that voice because he knows how much I love Jimmy Stewart. And like,
Do you, Kerri, do you remember there was a comedian, he did impressions back in the day named Rich Little? He was like on a lot of like the Dean Martin celebrity roast episodes and stuff. And he could do a really good Jimmy Stewart.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love hearing people do impressions.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
We talked a little bit about this a while ago, but Emily, Pamela, and Jared talking about the coal.
Oh, and they had the little Google eyes.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
I have the exchange written down, or part of it. Jared says, have you been on the naughty list? Pamela, no, I've never been on the naughty list ever. Pamela says otherwise. Pamela, he would never.
Was he kind of doing a Star Wars voice doing that?
It was like robotic. So. Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
Yes.
And he continues by saying, she seems frustrated. Why is she yelling at me? She yells a lot.
I love the fact that Emily just matched his energy.
Yes.
Right there. Like,
she didn't think that he was dumb. She didn't she just went along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
That was awesome. The scene after that, when she's on the phone with her parents, and I think her and Jared are standing in the garage, and he's helping her gather stuff for the snowman tableau. And she finishes the conversation with her parents, and she hangs up and she says, those are my parents. And Jared says, legends. And then it cuts to them opening the door to the storage unit. And she says, it's like an episode of Hoarders, Holiday Edition.
His
eyes when he's like, I mean, he's like a kid in a candy store.
Yes.
Like a dream.
A dream. I would have loved that too.
Yeah. Okay, was it before or after that she is on the call with her mom and her mom asks like, well, how's Jared? And she's like, well, he's really sweet, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
But I love, again, just what made me think that this was like just a big plot to get them together was how excited her parents were that he was there.
Yeah.
And it's almost like yay. Like, to put a villainous turn on this, her evil plan is working.
Yeah. I think even when she was on the phone with them, when she and Jared were in the garage gathering stuff, one of them said, oh, is that Jared?
Yes.
I think it was her dad. Yeah. I did think it was slightly weird, not gonna lie. I did think it was slightly weird for Jared to supposedly be as close to them as he is, that he was calling them Mr. and Mrs. instead of by their first names. I mean, it could just be a thing of respect, but in this day and time, pretty much, you call everybody by their first name, regardless of age, especially if you're close to them. So I did think that was slightly weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
After they leave the storage unit, they look at all the lawn displays, and Jared starts talking about how he always wanted to be Santa when he grew up, and he was convinced it's possible because of studying the Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. And then we get the cameo from Christopher.
Yes, I loved it.
I did too. I had to do a double take. I was like, wait a second, is that
to jump back for just a split second. I loved how excited he was because when she set up her lawn display, she was like, okay, this one's Jessica, this one's Bob, this one's he's like, well, where am I? She takes his like citation pad and gives it to Santa, and he's like, I'm Santa.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cute. I like how Kevin walks up and he says, ho 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 everybody, and Jessica says, what happened here? Did a Christmas comment land on your yard? Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then we get a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation shout out because Kevin says this is Clark Griswold level decoration.
Yeah.
I did not catch that one. I'm
Yeah.
surprised, which I've never seen the movie, but I definitely have heard the name Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but I have seen the movie.
Oh my goodness, you guys are crazy. I've seen that movie like 8 times this year already.
Listen, last year I still never watched A Christmas Story. Last year was the first time I have ever watched Home Alone.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think you weren't a big fan of it, right?
The second one was better to me than the first one. The third one, I don't really remember being very impressed with it, but I liked the second one best out of them. But no, they're not really my thing. I just prefer the older stuff. I can't help it. I just do.
Yeah, same.
It was also kind of funny when Nicole starts asking Jared if he is Emily's boyfriend and if they've held hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love when Chris is like, you don't have, or Kevin, I should say, is like, you don't have to answer that. We encourage her to speak her mind. And is it Jessica? Is that the mom's name?
Yeah.
Jessica. Is like, well, this is not the airport.
Yeah.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah. And then the little handshake with Jared and Kevin, that was funny. They're like,
oh, yeah, yeah.
It was very brief, but
yeah,
I caught it when I watched it.
Like, oh, that's just kind of proving that like they're bros, you know, like they're cool with each other.
Yeah.
Did Jared say against the HOA rules, like it was illegal for him to turn down Christmas cookies or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that is an HOA rule I could get behind. I'm just saying.
Like, also, I gotta eat them. It's against the rules not to.
Yeah. Also, Jared doing the dance when they're doing the Christmas charades, and you know everyone's like the Christmas Carlton.
Yes, that was so good.
Oh word, it was so cute, so cute. That whole scene of them, you know, her coming to the door, she has found the Polaroid camera, you know, them taking the picture, and him like, here's what we need to do, and like takes a selfie with the two of them with it. He's like, it'll go with the other one, and he takes her in there and shows her that he still has the picture from when they were little, that original picture, which again just goes back to me that it's like he's been in love with her all their lives, you know. Like it just seems like this whole plot to get them together that he's in on.
Totally.
And that was for the white elephant party. That was a good scene. The Christmas sweaters.
Oh, I love those.
I want so bad to do like an ugly Christmas sweater party, but am I the only one who gets extremely awkward at games like that? I hate it.
Really?
I despise it because I am so awkward at stuff like this. Oh man.
The gift exchange, and then before that, everyone singing Christmas carols. I loved hearing Wes sing again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Pamela's rendition of Oh Holy Night.
Oh my goodness. She was so into it.
Yes. And Jared's just sitting there with his eyes closed, like he's soaking the whole thing in. And Emily's just sitting there, like looking at his mom, like, are you hearing what I'm hearing?
Oh.
Also, were they looking at the lyrics for Jingle Bells on their phone, or were they recording a video?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Surely to goodness they are not looking at the lyrics.
Yeah, everyone knows that song.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved how we slowly saw Emily and Pamela kind of become friends. And really it was when they were gathering stuff for the snowman parade.
Yeah.
They were talking, and Pamela at that point opened up about her husband.
Yeah.
You know, not being there for Christmas and, you know, whatever, or, you know, not until right at Christmas. But to see, I really would be interested to know what Melissa is like in person, because I feel like you see a lot of Barbara Jean in Pamela.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder, like, is this her actual personality?
Right.
Because I mean, some people they are. I know Ronnie Shell. If you see him on screen, you have met him. Like, that's literally how he is.
Yeah.
But I just wonder about Melissa. Like, is this actually her personality? Like, where she seems kind of tough and, whatever, but that she's actually very tenderhearted. And because Barbie Jean was the same way.
I could see that.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that she co-hosts a podcast with Reba.
Oh, wow.
You could probably Google it and maybe listen to an episode and just kind of get, a feel of how she is,
That is cool.
Yeah.
It would be really cool to see like a Reba reunion movie if they did a good job with it.
Yeah.
They would have to do a good job with it. So many times reunion stuff does not go well.
Yeah.
So maybe not. But if they did a good job with it, it would be really cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, we mentioned this a little while ago too, just a little bit, but Emily asking Jared to be Santa Claus. She says, just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to be the most perfect Santa Claus. Jared, I thought she never asked.
Him picking her up and her feet dangling off. Well, first of all, when he starts towards her,
I thought he was going to kiss her.
I did too.
Yeah.
And he just like picks her up and her feet are a good foot off the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So cute. Oh, but that was the conversation with her mom when her mom pointed out to her that, Jared would want to be Santa Claus. That's why he got so upset.
Yeah.
That her mom was like, so how's Jared? And she starts going on about him. And she's like, well, I was really just asking how he's doing at the HOA president, but do tell. Like, she's like, oh, no, he's done a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we jump back for just a second and talk about his invitation to her in the mailbox? And then, she's like, is this another citation? He's like, no, it's an invitation. Okay. And then after Pamela walks off, he actually gives her a citation for not having up like her yard display or something. She's like, haven't you noticed I've been busy, taking care of this other obligation? He's like, yes, I have. Yeah. That's why the, fine is reduced to mandatory attendance of this Christmas party. And she's like, oh, so this is literally a Christmas party I cannot miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a really cute way of flirting.
Yes. This is like from My Southern Family Christmas. I can't tell if they're flirting or fighting. A little both.
Yeah. I have to mention Emily officially becoming one of Santa's helpers and using the walkie-talkie when she says, attention Team Kringle, mount up.
Mount up. Huzzah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cute.
What is that? Like a Marine cry or something?
Which one? The huzzah?
Yeah.
I think it's like Old English. I think it's like Renaissance type because I love Gilmore Girls, and there's a storyline where Luke's sister Liz, she works at the Renaissance fair. And so anytime something cool happens, they all go, huzzah!
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Everyone
decorating or setting up for the Christmas carnival. Ned's enthusiasm. He was like, this way.
Yes.
And then Jared sitting in Santa's chair, and Emily says, you were made for this.
Oh, yeah.
That was sweet.
And of course, she comments how beautiful the chair is. And he's looking straight at her and is like, yes. And like, how does he say it? Something about basically, I have to agree or something, or
I'm
sure it is or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was really sweet.
And after that is when we see the conversation between Emily and Pamela about her husband, Alan, not being able to make it home. And Emily gives her a hug and she says, usually when someone hugs you, you hug them.
Back.
And then she just puts it.
I will say that is the thing I miss most about my mom. And I literally was texting my friend Greg that a little bit before we started. I was like, I miss hugs. I miss good holding, healing hugs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this sounds terrible. it makes me want a boyfriend simply for that reason, because sometimes I just need to be held.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to know everything's going to be okay. And I don't have anybody for that anymore. And I'm a person that thrives off of hugs. Like I have people tell me all the time, I literally get the best hugs. And well, that's because I thrive off of hugs. So like, if I'm going to give you a hug, I'm going to give you a hug.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure you remember when you came here and we were like,
yes. I wish somebody had been videoing that. That would have been so cute.
but yes, I'm a hugger too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe they were right about her being Elsa, because she's starting to melt now. You know, she got the hug. She's starting to thaw out her iciness.
Yeah. The Christmas carnival, and the first thing we see is Emily, Jessica, Kevin, and Nicole getting hot chocolate. And then, of course, Nicole wants to go see Santa. So her dad, Kevin, takes her to see Santa. And then Emily and Jessica have a conversation about her possibly moving back. And Jared dressing as Santa and Nicole asking what she wants for Christmas. This was funny.
Yeah.
I'd like that handsome architect to take my Aunt Emily on a date.
And Emily's standing back there like,
yeah.
Jessica says, I told you, she's always listening.
Yeah.
I loved when she's like, listen, I know you're not the real Santa Claus, but let's keep pretending for all the adults' sake.
Yeah.
He's like, cool kid.
Yeah. I also love when Kevin says, see, that is what I call highly effective communication.
Thank you.
Jared, what makes you think your Aunt Emily wants that handsome architect to take her out on a date? Nicole, well, she said she didn't like him, but you know what that means.
He's like, thanks for the heads up, kid.
Yeah.
And then the cameo from Eric.
Woo!
You know, Jared as Santa, he says, Trixie, who do we have next? And Trixie is Pamela. That's just, you know, she's dressed up in costume.
Which is hilarious because she's literally like the tallest person there.
Yeah.
And Elf is supposed to be like so little.
Yeah.
Elf ever.
Yes.
And Pamela says, as Trixie doesn't care. Alan!
Yes, they just run.
It would have been a little bit more of a SSD cameo if he had been getting coffee instead of popcorn.
Oh, that would have been so
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. But it was still adorable.
It's still cute.
And I'm sorry, but I mean, that kiss was adorable, but it also like just cracked me up because I mean, Melissa is so tall. Yes. Yeah. They look like, I mean, it was adorable, but they look like this little mismatched couple, which I think is so cute. Like when you see, because you see some people that they just look so perfect together, you know, they're, you know, you see them and you go, yep, that's it, you know, and then to me, it's the mismatched couples that are so cute. And that was definitely one of those. I was like, well, I would have never thought to put Oliver and Barbara Jean together, but that's cute.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jessica and Emily and Kevin and Nicole, they're standing there watching Alan and Pamela reunite. And Jessica says, what's the story there? Emily, a Christmas miracle. And then Kevin covers Nicole's eyes.
Yes. That's so funny because when I was watching it, Easton was in the room with me and he was like, why did he cover her eyes? I was like, I'll talk to you about it later.
Kerri and I were talking about it when we recapped A Merry Christmas Wish with Jill Wagner and Cameron Matheson, because his sister covered his niece's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When Cameron's character and Jill's character kissed.
I don't understand that. I really don't. Because I'm sorry, but like, at least for me, growing up in a household where I saw my parents kiss and stuff, like, I think a child should see their parents being affectionate with each other, like
Yeah.
not in a inappropriate way, obviously,
Yeah.
but I think they should know this is an open, loving relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, it's comedy when somebody does that, but I don't really understand it personally.
Yeah.
I loved A Christmas Wish when the daughter was just like,
Yeah, like peeking between her fingers.
Oh, how cute.
Helen, Alan and Pamela's daughter, is the official photographer for the Christmas carnival. And I loved that brief moment between her and Emily when, she tells her that she's the official photographer and Emily compliments her on how great of a job she did.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emily walks up to see Helen taking a picture of her parents, and Alan says, "You're a true Melrose, Emily. Your parents would be proud."
Yeah.
That was a nice moment too.
Yeah, I loved Eric's little cameo in there, was so
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
So sweet. But I love the fact that she was like taking pictures of her parents and stuff too. And I love the fact that Emily wasn't taking credit for what she
Yeah.
like. It was a completely selfless act. And then of course when Jared kind of asks her like, how'd she pull it off? And she's like, well, my ex-boyfriend, works for the airline, and I called in a favor, and he was like, I thought he was a jerk. And she was like, well, he is, but even a jerk, kind of, has to have some Christmas spirit to him. So,
Yeah,
I love that there was that's another thing that's different in this movie. There's no animosity or jealousy between Jared and her ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's none of that. There is a clean break and let's move on. I love that.
Yeah.
I love when Jared is talking about being Santa and all the gifts he has to deliver. And then he asks Emily on a date.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he handsome? I think we can all safely say yes. He's been going on about Wes's Clark Kent glasses.
Yeah, I love it. I love when he wears the glasses.
Oh, yeah. Wes seems like he is just a sweetheart.
He is.
Yeah.
Of course, y'all know I met him at Rama Drama. And Kristen, you were there, so.
Yes. I didn't get to meet him, but I saw your picture of you with him.
Oh, and speaking of pictures, how about the fact that you made the Rama Drama Instagram post with your picture with Tyler?
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. That's like the third time they've used that photo on their Instagram.
Aww.
Nicole, I keep telling you, you're famous. Everybody knows who you are, and if they don't, they should.
Aww.
Agree.
Thank you. I don't feel that way, but thank you. I'm not famous. I don't feel that way at all.
You should have seen her, Kerri, at Rama Drama. I mean, she was just like, hey, and they're like, Nicole, it's Nicole. Like, you would have thought she would have had a booth up there with the rest of them.
Right?
No.
I will say that's how some people describe it being with me around the Mayberry crowd. My friend that I was talking about, that one of them that can do a really good Jimmy Stewart impression, and the one that just started talking James Stewart to me, this past year was his first time at Mayberry Days, and we were trying to walk down the street, and it was like every other person, he was like, I think this is person 130, whatever that because it's like everybody, people across the street, Kerri, I'm like, hey, so apparently that's how it is with me and Mayberry. I don't feel like I know that many people personally, but apparently other people think I do.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm famous, but thank you for the compliment.
Well, you're awesome. So even if people don't know who you are, they should. So
thank you. Okay, so we got a little off track there for a second. Sorry about that, y'all. But I really loved the scene on Christmas morning when Emily's parents surprise her and give her the house with the keychain or the keys. And
keys to the house.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a great gift.
Yes.
It really was. But that threw me for a loop. I know we talked about this at the beginning, that her parents were actually moving. I did not expect them to.
I know, yeah.
But also, was I the only one, like when she first picked up that gift, was I the only one that was expecting that to be from Jared?
I thought it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Like totally. As Santa, I was expecting that to be from him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I thought it too.
Yep.
Yes.
Also, everyone showing up singing a Christmas song. That was nice.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jared and Emily's conversation on the front steps and her writing a citation for him that says, "Kiss me."
Mhm.
So cute. So cute.
That was
very
cute.
creative, but so
Yes.
cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved Wes and Lacey's chemistry.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah, I was
But-
surprised that they haven't done a movie before
Yeah.
together
Mhm.
because they were really good.
Yeah.
Okay, another, like, you know what a big behind the scenes geek I am, but I was very impressed at the job that the like hair and makeup department did at aging her parents.
Yeah.
They did very, very well with that. Like,
Yeah,
at
the mom
beginning of
had
the
like a
movie.
wig, and then the dad just had like a toboggan, and they just did like the makeup. I was like, oh, is that the same actress? Like I knew it was the same dad, but I was like, is that the same mom? And I was really surprised to see that it was. They did a great job.
They
They
did.
either did a wig or they like just dyed her hair, but yeah. So probably the wig, yeah. But.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I have some trivia to wrap up this episode.
You're going down. I'm just kidding.
You're darn right I am.
How old was Emily in the opening flashback scene?
7.
Yes. Both got it right.
Woo.
According to Ned, what is the forerunner of the modern American sugar cookie?
Oh, geez. English shortbread?
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow, I would have never guessed that.
You're
I don't
2
know
for 2,
how I
Kerri.
remembered that.
You're 2 for 2. What is Emily's favorite kind of sandwich?
Peanut butter
Frozen
and
peanut
jelly.
butter and jelly.
Ding, 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 ding. How long has Pamela lived on Evergreen Lane?
5 years.
Ding, 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 ding. And what year is the sweater from that Emily wore to the White Elephant Party?
1987.
1987?
Ding, 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 ding.
We did good.
Yeah.
I really shocked.
Kerri, you say that you're not so good with these, but every time I've ever been on here with you, you've done very well with trivia.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just Mayberry trivia that I'm bad at. I don't know, but I can quote that show. Like, I could pretty much quote half of the first episode of that show. I can quote so many lines from it, which, granted, they do some serious trivia when they do that, because like one of the trivia questions one year was apparently, what was the number on the model car on the shelf in the doctor's office?
Oh my.
Oh yeah. But I mean, people pay this much attention to this stuff
Wow.
in these shows. So I'm like, I mean, a lot of it is very hard trivia like that. But yeah, no, 9 times out of 10, I do not feel like I'm good at trivia. So,
Well, I think you're great.
I think.
I think you beat out Kristen by 1 question.
Boo.
Jeez, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Well, this was so much fun. Thank you, Kerri and Kristen, for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Of course. We will definitely have you back again in the future.
Can't wait.
All right, Hallmarkies. I think that wraps up our recap of Haul Out the Holly. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed and have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. And we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.